The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The National Task Force Against COVID-19 clarifies that flights from Hong Kong are not yet included in those suspended over the emergence of the Omicron variant. In a clarificatory statement, the NTF explains that they are still awaiting the formal announcement of the IATF on the matter. The IATF will base its decision on its final recommendation of the country's technical working group against COVID-19. For now, the task force stresses that until a formal announcement from the IATF is made, all flights from Hong Kong are still allowed. At least 2 cases of the Omicron variant have been reported in Hong Kong over the past days. But as of the moment, the Philippines has only suspended inbound flights from the following countries: South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Eswatini, and Mozambique. Now, how does the government plan to monitor arrivals from countries not included in the travel ban? Let's find out from Bureau of Quarantine Deputy Director, Dr. Roberto Salvador. He's joining us over the phone this afternoon. Dr. Salvador, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ma'am Risa. Good afternoon to all your listeners and televiewers, ma'am.
Doc, first off, would like to know what are the plans from the agency amid the threat of the Omicron variant, given already, of course, the flight ban?
The Bureau of Quarantine and other government agency concerned regarding the international travel arrival po are ready po to implement the stricter quarantine po with regards to the prevention po na pumasok po kay yung bagong variant natin na kinakatakutan na Omicron.
Sir, meron po bang mga ipapatupad na mga measures po para po doon sa mga paparating na flights from Hong Kong? Again, dahil nga po meron na pong mga na-detect doon na cases.
We already informed po yung BOK authorities in the airport na orient and get the details of the Hong Kong arrivals po natin. So, hinihintay lang po natin yung suspension ng mga flights from Hong Kong. So, once po binaba po ng IATF po, we will closely coordinate with LGU po to monitor these passengers po na dumating before kay the suspension po.
Dr. Salvador, we understand the Bureau of Quarantine has been instructed on that matter to locate ito pong mga dumating sa ating bansa prior po to the travel ban. Any updates on that?
Closely coordinated na po kami sa LGU and DOH. So sa ngayon po monitor naman po natin, wala naman po tayong nakitang mga dumating na meron pong sign and symptoms pertaining to the new variant.
Sir, final question. We know that the Philippines, our country, is allowing now entry of fully vaccinated, or planning to allow rather, the entry of fully vaccinated tourists. Ano po ba yung mga pwede nating gawing hakbang just to make sure na hindi po makakapasok itong new variant?
Ang Bureau of Quarantine po, kami po yun talagang inatasan ng government para po magbantay sa ports of entry para po hindi makapasok itong mga infectious disease like this new variant. So we give orientation to our travelers po, especially those po na nasa green list, kung saan po diretso na sila sa home quarantine. Ang paalala lang po namin, pag nasa green list kayo, pag sinabing home quarantine po, you should strictly po home quarantine for 14 days. Hindi po pwedeng lumabas pa hanggat hindi po natatapos ang 14 days, and kailangan po makipag-coordinate sa LGU natin once magkaroon ng signs and symptoms para po maagapan at maprotektahan ang family and ang community. And
maraming salamat. Go ahead, sir.
And ang paalala po natin, tandaan po natin, wala po tayong dapat ikatakot. Kahit ano pong variant po ang dumating, ang importante lang po, gawin natin ang minimum health standard, ang pagsusuot ng mask, paghuhugas ng kamay, and social distancing, and iwasan po yung mga matataang lugar. Kaya yun po ang importante natin gawin kahit ano pong variant ang dumating sa atin.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. That was Bureau of Quarantine Deputy Director Dr. Roberto Salvador.
Salamat po.
Now, more countries are also imposing stricter measures to prevent the entry of the new and potentially more contagious Omicron variant. Israel bans the entry of all foreigners into the country, making it the first country to shut its borders completely in response to the new variant. Israel said it would also use counterterrorism phone tracking technology in order to contain the spread of the Omicron variant. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia will still allow entry of travelers from all countries as long as they have received one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine inside the kingdom. Saudi Arabia has earlier suspended flights from 7 African countries due to the Omicron variant. Now, the ministry said the travelers would be allowed in from next Saturday and would need to quarantine for 3 days. And Australia urgently tests people entering the country after 2 arrivals from Southern Africa tested positive for COVID-19, on top of concerns over the new variant. The Health Department of New South Wales says urgent genomic sequencing is underway to determine if they have been infected by the new Omicron variant. Australia also imposed new restrictions on people who have been to 9 Southern African countries. South Africa's health minister is criticizing the immediate travel bans imposed by countries over fears of the new Omicron variant. Let's listen in.
At no stage did they say that they've got evidence that, firstly, that this virus is more transmissible. They simply said that just as it has been the case as other mutations which has happened, some of them have had the effect of being more transmissible without necessarily also meaning that in terms of its seriousness, in terms of having more impact in terms of the severity of illness. That's why we are saying that the reaction of some of countries in terms of imposing travel bans and such measures are completely against the norms and standards as guided by the World Health Organization. Many of the countries which have come with this kind of draconian reaction are themselves battling with a fourth wave, with a high spike of, in fact, with more daily infection rates. I mean, we are talking about currently, we are concerned about the daily rise in numbers. Today, the report from the NICD indicates just around 2,800, which is indeed high from where we come from about 2 weeks ago, but far less than many of the countries in Europe who have a daily infection rates of up to 50,000, upwards of that.
Now, in other news, Vice President Leni Robredo, who is gunning for the country's top post, has expressed her appreciation to the armed forces, noting that the agency may not be perfect, but its independence as an institution is maintained. In her weekly radio show, Robredo said she discussed national concerns with top officials during her courtesy visit at the AFP headquarters. Robredo noted that she conducts regular security and defense briefings with the AFP. The vice president also shared that her office has been able to distribute PPE sets and other medical supplies across the country with the assistance of the military.
Very appreciative kasi ako sa AFP. Kasi kahit hindi siya perfecto, until now talaga na-maintain niya naman yung kanyang independence as an institution. hindi hinahayaan na maging instrumento siya. Siyempre, gaya na sabi ko, hindi siya perpekto at yung ating puna at ang ating reklamo ay ipinahayag natin doon. Pero siguro yung detalye hindi na natin i-discuss. Pero sa atin lang lagi tayo nagpapasalamat sa AFP.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. At least 45% of Filipino families feel poor as of the third quarter of 2021, according to an SWS survey. Some 34% felt borderline poor, while only 21% rated themselves as not poor. But still, the pollsters saw a slight improvement from the self-rated poor families from the last survey in June 2021. The Labor Department has halted the deployment of newly hired household service workers to Saudi Arabia. Secretary Silvestre Bello III said the suspension is due to several reports of abuse. Processing of the documents of domestic workers will resume upon the issuance of new verification guidelines. And oil companies are set to roll back gasoline prices this week as the new COVID-19 variant triggers global market. UniOil projects that the prices for diesel would go down by 50 to 60 centavos, while a price rollback of up to 1 peso and 10 centavos per liter in gasoline is likewise expected. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.